What's up,
Ooh,
ladies and gentlemen? Did you say wait? Did you say wait?
what's up? What's up, everybody? What's up? Today, we have a special guest on the show. We have the one, the only, Shaun Barrow.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank
Shaun
you.
Barrow, aka Starlight City Project. And of course, you have Irvin Johnson, aka Game on Cloud 9, and Nico, aka Chief N, your host for the day.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I know the way I kind of assembled this. I know if people are watching the live stream right now, the way that the everything came in was kind of weird. I'm not even gonna lie, because I actually pulled up the wrong screen at the wrong time. But anyway, let's just jump into this. I'm so.
all right.
Hmm?
I understand everyone. We've been having some weird technical issues. My internet, for whatever reason, went out. So
And you're sitting
I
upside down, actually. Let me fix that.
upside down. Lovely.
Yes. But anyway,
So all kind of crazy this today.
there we
So
go.
we raw live action. Here it is. So Sean, story series RIL Persona.
Yep, that's the name of the series. Well, it's pronounced R. Il Persona. Um,
RL.
See,
yeah,
Nico, butchering
Il like
names.
the Italian word for the name's kind of like it's kind of like a joke because the first letter is R, which stands for the main character Raid.
Right.
The Il is it's the Italian word for and then persona is the Latin word for mask. So it's basically saying Raid the mask, which is kind of like one of the themes of the series, like masks and personalities and what lurks behind them, you know?
Raid the Mask.
Oh,
Okay.
identity. All about identity. That's I can tell. Like especially when you see, like how Raid, in the first, well, as far as everywhere where I've been, as far as what I've read, up to this point, he still doesn't know his identity. I haven't read anything super, super, super recent, so I don't know if anything's changed yet. But
Oh, he doesn't know anything. So
okay.
Okay.
that's the
All
fun
right.
part. That's what I like because it basically puts like the reader in his shoes. So the reader finds out everything as he does. So I wanted like people to like be immersed in the experience when they're reading it. So that was one of the goals that I wanted, like where just like
You
when you're
are
reading
him.
it, you feel the same way as he is, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I do get some of them vibes, especially a lot of his confusions. Um,
Hmm.
real. So, what, what would you for the audience? Why don't you go ahead and first give a brief summary of your story for those that may
Sure.
not know what it's about?
Yeah, no problem. Well, again, the story is called Our Ill Persona. Basically, it takes place in like a post-apocalyptic future,
Hmm.
and it's about a teenager who his code name is named Raid, and he wakes up inside this black magic powered suit of armor, and he wakes up with amnesia. He doesn't know what's going on, and he basically finds himself in the middle of this like deadly, like big time mission for the faction that he works for. Um, and the mission is basically going to set the course for this big global war that his faction and another side is involved in. And basically, he's thrown into the middle of everything. He doesn't know what's going on, and things just basically go from there. The target audience is about, I guess, it's like ages 17 and up. It's more of like for the adult swim crowd, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
People
Oh
that
yeah.
people that like to watch anime on Saturday nights, stuff like that. Because it's got like violence in it, and it's basically like the way we put it together. It's kind of like a cartoon already on the page, but yeah. So it's got like a lot of like gore. People call it gore. I don't really look at it like that, but and it's got like some foul language and adult situations, but nothing too crazy. Like I said, it's for the like adult swim crowd, so ages 17 and up. I'm the writer on it. I'm the writer and creator of the series. And I work with two people on the main portion of the series. The artist is J.M. Valenzuela, and the colorer and letterer is Ludwig Sacramento.
Okay.
So, do you see this being on Toonami one day?
I would love it. I'd actually love for it to be on Netflix, to be honest with you, but that'd be cool too.
Well, I know what you
Because
mean
that's
about Netflix.
definitely
I know
one of the
Netflix been
goals.
doing extremely well. So I mean, it would make sense. I guess
Yeah.
I was only saying that like the Toonami part because I'm like just for nostalgia purposes, since I think we've
Uh,
all grown up and
all the those old Toonami shows is like a big influence on like just everything that I've been doing with Il Persona. So
okay. So then, what would you say is if you had to pick one of the Toonami shows, what probably had the most effect on you creating this?
Gundam Wing is
Ooh.
definitely one that and that's going ways back, I know, but
Oh no.
that's definitely like one of my like biggest influences just because of like the it was a certain like rawness to the series. Like it had like political intrigue. The main characters were basically on one side they could they could be called terrorists. On the other side they could be freedom fighters, for I think that for their colony or whatever. That was a big influence. Well, yeah, as far as Tanami shows, Gundam Wing is probably the biggest influence. And then, I could probably say Dragon Ball Z, but I was watching Dragon Ball Z I was watching the Japanese like subtitle version of Dragon Ball Z before it came on Toonami. Uh, I guess like Yu Yu Hakusho. You remember that show?
Oh, of
Oh
course.
yeah.
All these ones that you're naming, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like,
Yeah, like that was an influence just on like the supernatural aspect of it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would say those shows in particular are the ones that really, Toonami wise, that are a big influence. I got so many other influences though.
so do you have any outside of anime? That's the real question.
Uh yeah, I mean, like, well, American comics like Batman, Spider Man. Hmm, The Matrix was a big influence. Just I wouldn't say it influenced like the story, but it definitely was an influence like just like the vibe of it. That always stood out to me. Hmm. But I mean, other than that, mainly like I'm a big manga and anime fan, so it's like
Oh no, I understand. Like I'm
that that part of the that part of the fandom that basically influences a lot of what I do.
okay.
Understandable. So
Oh
I mean,
wait, my fault.
oh,
RPGs, Japanese RPGs. Like if you read like the story, like a lot of that comes from me. Like a lot of those ideas I got from like just playing like Final Fantasy or something,
I
and I
know
get
what
an
you
idea like, yo,
I
See
know what you mean.
that you know what this guy Nico, he could talk to you about Final Fantasy all day. Cause me, and I mean this is gonna sound pretty bad. I've never played a Final Fantasy. I know
oh,
of it, but I've never played one. But I'm like, I know people were loving it when the Final Fantasy 15 just came out or whatnot. And I mean, I don't.
yeah, I mean, but I mean, there's other like RPGs too. But you're not a big RPG guy in general, then.
Oh, I guess not. Not really. I'm trying to think of what
Yeah,
RPGs do I play.
I mean, probably just the Naruto based ones, really.
Yeah,
well,
I guess.
hey, that counts too, though.
The but
That
yeah,
was a good influence too. Like out of recent, well, it's not recent, but that series really, I like the writing for. I guess like about 75% of that series, like Naruto, that was a really like an influence. Just like the writing, like the way the author approached certain things,
Oh
I
yeah,
did appreciate
Kishimoto.
that. Yeah,
mhm.
Kishimoto was pretty. He was pretty good. A lot of people hated the ending. I thought that they were like kind of dragging it out for money, but you know how that goes.
Oh, hey, I agree. The
I feel like Bleach
the,
didn't get the right ending. I mean, I like Bleach,
Oh
but
yeah,
ooh,
I'm like, let's not even
well,
get into, you know, I feel like
uh,
Bach or whatever. I'm like, okay, I could.
yeah.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? I gotta ask you, like, straight up.
The ending for Bleach.
Yeah, like, what's
yeah.
your
I
overall
thought
thoughts?
that he got well. I thought because the one thing uh, I don't like to be really critical like other authors because everybody's got their own style, you know. But I thought that Kubo, his style, like his pacing was like he would tend to drag things out a little bit, and like a lot of his chapters are like really action based, so it was just like a weird pacing to it. So when he finally got towards the end, I think that they forced him to like end it like abruptly, and it kind of messed the ending up. So
Oh, I can tell he definitely ended. I mean, because if it didn't, I mean, honestly, like if you look at like the character, like how a lot of the other characters aside from like Bach, how they ended up getting killed off, like what Hashwald,
uh,
how it
oh
just
Mm.
he didn't use his final holy form. With Bach, I don't
You know
understand
how
how this arrow basically was like was it Deus Ex Machina or whatever. How basically just that arrow was able to suppress his
yeah,
powers and out of nowhere. I'm like, we never heard about this arrow, never was foreshadowed or anything. And then on top of that, then you have Ichigo just freaking cut him like it's nobody's business. And I'm like, okay, what happened to predicting everything? Even if you're suppressing his powers, like this dude should have easily had like Yamamoto's Bankai to because he still had that.
yeah,
So
yeah. That was that was the editors, I guess, saying that he had to wrap it up. But it is what it is. But that series too, I did like that series. I wouldn't say it was like an influence on what I'm doing, but I was just a fan of the series. The art was like real, especially towards like the middle to later half. Like his character design just got really good.
okay,
uh, I agree.
yeah.
It definitely had the most favorable art style
Mhm.
at the time for me as well.
How do you feel about Tokyo Ghoul?
That's actually my favorite manga right now.
That's what I'm talking about.
See, I
I
had I
actually read the manga. I haven't. I may have watched like one episode of the series.
Uh-huh.
I've read the manga. Like I haven't even sat down to watch the series. I heard that the series and the manga don't match up, so I didn't want to. I don't want to
It,
ruin the experience, you know.
I mean, this is halfway accurate. I mean, the season one it does follow up most of the manga, but it's just season two after that. It took an
Yeah,
entire,
I've been anime
I'll
only with
avoid
Tokyo
that.
Ghoul.
but if
You
anyone,
gotta read the manga. I'm telling you.
the soundtrack definitely fits the tone of the story. So if there was any reason you would ever try out the anime, just solely before that soundtrack, in my opinion. Because when you're reading the manga with that soundtrack in your head, oh man, it gets extra realistic and just emotional and
When I get some
all
free
the
time, I'll definitely check it out.
But I'm the one who put you up on Tokyo Ghoul, Nico. Just saying.
yes, you know how disheartening it is that this man got me up on Tokyo Ghoul and won't read the manga.
You gotta read the manga.
I
Come,
am. I'm
Oh,
gonna read
come
it.
on.
I read a little bit of it, but I'm like I haven't like sat down and like went through everything
When
yet. So
you, because it's two parts. It's Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Re, and it gets crazier. Like one chapter after the other. Like once you get to the end of Tokyo Ghoul, you're like, what?
I know about a
And
lot of these
then
spoilers. Ian told me about it, so
yeah, I'm not gonna spoil
yeah,
it, but the
he
ending of
pressed me.
Tokyo Ghoul was crazy. The real ending.
Yeah, there's the way season two left off. It's literally little way they could hope to recover from that. They had to just reboot the series or something,
I,
or
I
or reboot second season or something.
they just need to say forget season two and just pick it up where they left off because that series needs an anime.
so are there any characters from Tokyo Ghoul that you feel like have influenced your, I guess, characterization of any characters and
Mm,
RL Persona?
none right now. Because I actually because right now what we have out is probably 1.5 volumes worth of content, and I'm already writing the fifth book right now. Um, so no one yet from Tokyo Ghoul really influenced it, but uh, Ken Kaneki's character, especially when he first the early version of his character, that really like it captured my attention because he was a little bit different. He chill guy. He liked to read books and stuff like that, and then he just has like this really bad day, and his life just gets turned upside down. Like that.
Mhm.
That's like a really really good engaging character, but nobody from Tokyo Ghoul I could say influenced anybody in the series. Not yet, but
So, what would you
it's
say
still
if
early.
Sui Ishida came up to you and he said he wanted to do a crossover with you?
I do it. Hell,
How would you see it going? Though that's the real question. How would you?
I
What would you
I don't
make?
know because mine is more like action fantasy with sci-fi elements in it. His is more like horror fantasy, action horror fantasy, I'd say, because they got battles and stuff in there. But I don't know. I mean, you see mashups all the time, so we'd figure it out.
Oh yeah, because I've seen what was it? Wasn't there one time that they did Fairy Tale and Parasite? I thought that was the weirdest one.
That was
Yeah,
weird.
yeah, I think I saw
Yeah.
that. I think I saw that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you could take something like Parasite, which is like way left field from what Fairy Tale is, and make it come together, you could do anything.
It's true. Uh, I mean, outside of RL Persona, uh,
hmm
what other projects are you working on, if any?
Well, well, yeah. I mean, El Persona takes up like, and I call it El Persona too because that was the original name, but I decided to like put the R in front of it, like somewhere around down the line because I didn't want any problems with the Persona people because you're familiar with the video games
Mm-hmm.
and stuff.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
about
because
them.
sometimes like I've done two conventions so far, and like at both of them, I got the question, "Hey, is this like the Persona series?" And I'm like,
No,
"No,
Mm.
it's
no.
totally different series." But it's cool. I mean, shoot, anybody taking an interest, that's the main thing. But Il Persona is taking up basically like 99% of my time. I have another series that I'm writing in the background, like developing it. I don't have like a working title for it, but it's gonna be because I love fantasy stories, so
Mhm.
it's gonna be in the realm of like fantasy, but it's gonna be mystery fantasy, like actual crime solving, I guess, detective stuff in like a fantasy setting. I'll put it like that.
What brought that idea about?
Um, One day I was just like, you ever see the show True Detective?
True Detective? No.
Yeah, because
Yeah, it's
you don't
a
watch any TV, Nico.
Yeah, I don't. So yeah.
look. I don't blame you. A lot of TV's crap, but
Yeah.
True Detective was like this show on HBO. It's like a detective like anthology series or
Mm.
whatever. And it's not anything from the show that made me want to do it. But I was just like, yo, like, what if I just combine like a fantasy like setting or even a steampunk fantasy setting
Mm.
with like actual mystery and some type of way, some type of case solving, things like that. So that's what I'm developing now. And so far, it's basically going to star two female protagonists. And I'm just going there. But right now, I'm just really developing it. Like, I got like the general idea down. But, with me, I like to really take my time before even getting stuff drawn up. Like with like RL Persona, it was like years of like me like taking the story, rewriting it until I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm actually gonna get this published. So and that was like a year process, like not year process, but like years worth of like building up to it. So, but I'm gonna do this one, the other series that I'm talking about. I'm probably gonna put that out sometime in the next like year or two, try to get that done because I feel a little bit more confident in my writing to just like put more stuff out now.
Oh, interesting. No, that's actually interesting to know because know a lot. I know quite a bit of people who get into writing stories, or even more notably, or more that I've noticed in the comic industry is that they'll try to do some of them actually do try to do multiple stories off the get go, and
Mm-mm.
really building enough experience as writing a solo story and it really fleshing it out. And they've had plenty
Yep.
of issues where there was plenty of like tropes and
Mm.
the instances in a plot where it just kind of mellowed out and didn't really hype up the climax enough. And then some of them have issues with storyboarding, and where you lay it out for what you want for your artist, or if you are the artist, where you want to basically put certain content, and if you haven't really laid it out to them to where the page basically flows to where the reader can definitely tell what the main what the what the main point of that page is, or basically be feel inclined to basically turn the page, and basically leaving out the last panel with somewhat of a cliffhanger for that page, if you will.
Mhm.
But not with those
Yeah,
movies,
like
and don't delve out to gain that experience, and think that you just put out multiple series. So I'm glad you got to basically work on our persona long enough to and gain that experience and uh, build the
I
confidence to work on.
yeah, I wanted to just do it right. This is something that I've wanted to do like basically my entire life. So it's like I didn't want to do it until I had like the resources to push it, and also I didn't want to do it until I perfected my writing enough to where I was confident. Even like in the earlier chapters, the earlier like the first volume of Ill Person. We only have one volume like in stores, but we have like six single issues out. But even that, like I wouldn't say I would go back and rewrite it, but like I feel like I've matured like in my writing style. The more I write, the better I get. So it's like I'm just I think that trying to tackle multiple series at once, you have to be either really really good, or your confidence needs to be sky high with what you're putting out, because
Oh yeah.
I would never want to put something out there that I didn't give 150 to 200% of my like mental focus on, so that's why like the other series that I'm talking to you guys briefly about, that it'll be out when it's ready, but I don't think it would take as long as it took me to put together like O Persona. So
Okay. And point you mentioned before that I want to touch on the oh yeah. So what are your thoughts on certain writers that may feel inclined to basically reboot their entire stories? So let's say they kicked it off. Maybe they got 2 volumes in, or basically like 10 chapters. Let's say they got 10 chapters in. We're like, I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. Or maybe they're halfway through their arc and they feel like how the series isn't going the way I really wanted to, and they decided they
mm,
reboot it.
um, that me personally, I wouldn't do that. If you develop an audience, I think that it's your obligation to the audience to see this story through. Number one, I mean, God forbid, unless something happened like health crisis, family crisis. I understand if story goes on a hiatus or something like that, but to lure your audience in and then reboot it midway through, I really don't like that. I would say you should have everything like really. You should have your basic gist of your story already like locked down before you even put it out there for public consumption. That's just my opinion. I'm not going to criticize anybody if they choose to do it, but I mean, if you're putting out, a story, a series, this is your product, this is your brand, this is your name attached to it. It's a certain level of pride, and also you want to be good to your audience, because people taking the time to read your product, that's a big thing, and you don't want betray your readers by 10 issues in. Oh, okay, I'm gonna reboot this or whatever, and I don't know. So not
I
something
understand.
I would do. I say that.
Uh, okay. The what was it? Something else you mentioned there that darn, I lost that thought already.
Wait, what was it?
Well, there was something you mentioned, and that I really wanted to touch on it, but it's gonna come back to me. But
No problem.
I guess I'll come back to it. But the I was actually curious. Your pen name, Starlight City Project.
Yeah.
What made you come up with that name?
Um. Well, Starlight City is the name of my publishing company. Starlight City Entertainment. That's number one. But actually,
Right.
Starlight City is like one of the locations, like the main locations in our El Persona.
Hey,
And
real quick, not to cut you off. Nico, fix your camera
yeah,
because I can't see. We can't see you
What do you mean you can't see me?
because you somehow
It's
your camera
off.
changed angle or whatever,
wait.
and the way I had it set, it was.
I literally didn't change anything.
Hold on,
It's
let
the
me see.
same as, and it's on my end.
Oh, okay, my fault. That was me. Never mind. Sorry. Carry on.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. Where were we? Where were we?
You were yeah, you said the
Starlight City.
Starlet City was the name of the
Oh yeah.
pen company.
Yeah. Yeah. So Starlight City is basically one of the locations in the series.
Mhm.
And one day I was just like reading like through stuff. I don't know what I was reading. It was like I think it was like a adaptation of like a manga adaptation of like some kind of novel, sci-fi novel, and the author he basically his pen name was basically I think it was like the title of the series or something like that, and then project after it. And also I kept seeing like different animes having like okay um, the title of the series and project, like their production team name was the name of the series and the word project. So I was just like, I'll just call make my pen name Starlight City Project, and then that was it. So I may even change my pen name on the next series. I don't know. I don't. The pen name is not anything that's really that important to me. Like because as people who've met me at conventions and stuff will tell you,
Mhm.
they come up to me and I say, call me Shaun. My name's Shaun. Like and, I tell them I go by the pen name Starlight City Project, but it's not that big of a deal. But I just wanted to like write under a pen name. No particular big reason or
You
anything.
should you should come to YomaCon.
Where's that one at?
It's in Michigan. That's like our biggest con. It's in Detroit. It's in you know,
Oh, what what time of year is it?
usually in October. Like they do it for like Halloween, kind of. Which is kind of why it's called
No,
YomaCon. Like
it's
Yoma meaning demon, and then con, a demon con.
Have you have you
it's
guys
not,
gotten the table there in the
Ooh,
past or?
don't even say it's so hard to get a table up in there, man. I'm like, I could tell you stories about trying to get a table up in there. Like where I almost did, and then I did something, and then it didn't happen, and then like you have to
yeah.
basically be on it, like as soon as they make it
Yeah.
available.
We managed to get a
Yeah.
panel. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when space fills up at these conventions, yeah, you gotta you gotta jump on it. Trust me, I know.
Oh, I mean that
Um,
filled up in less than 5 minutes. I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah, you literally did. Literally, as soon as it was announced, probably 5 minutes in, they were locked down. I'm not. We were not even kidding you.
yeah, the bigger conventions, man, it's so tough. Like I'm actually located in New Jersey, so like the biggest convention in our area is New York Comic Con.
Oh,
Hmm.
But
you got that
you know,
real big one.
yeah, and to get a artist alley table for that, you gotta really jump on that one.
I mean, you gotta jump on that like a boat.
Last year was my first year actually doing conventions because I actually started putting out RL Persona in June of 2015. So last year was the first set of conventions I did. I did one in Newark, New Jersey, and then I did New Jersey Comic Expo. Um, that was in November. So I'm going to be doing a few shows this year. I just got to get the calendar straight and the spaces locked down. Then I'll start announcing that stuff. But I definitely want to get out of state though.
Oh yeah, same here.
Uh,
Same here. You know.
Definitely, because there's so many conventions, and you want to like spread the stuff. Because the internet can only
Mm.
take you so far. Trust me, like putting out your own comic face to face, that nothing beats that. Especially selling your own comic face to face with people who like take an interest. That nothing beats that, man. I'm telling you.
Have you
You
met?
guys will trust me.
Have you met like any people like I guess that maybe do publish things on the internet in person before? Like, have you know like is there anybody that have been at any of these conventions that you've encountered? Just out of curiosity.
As far as like webcomic goes, or
Yeah.
just like people, I haven't met anybody like another webcomic creator. Yeah, I've met other creators like James Roach. He's the creator of this comic called Wretches. He actually ran two Kickstarters. It's not a web comic, but it's a comic that's published independently.
Mm-hmm.
I met him because I networked with him on the internet. But as far as other web comic creators, I haven't had the chance to meet them yet. But I'm pretty sure I'll run across them, you know, sooner than later.
Oh yeah, especially if you know you spreading out spreading your wings.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, like with the whole webcomic thing. Because I actually wasn't going to. I had no idea about webcomics, 2 years ago. I knew about them, but I didn't ever plan on releasing RL Persona as a webcom. I was going to do, straight up comic. And then, one day I was thinking, I was like, what's the fastest and easiest way to really build up a fan base? And then I started researching, and then it was like webcomics. And I'm like, okay. And then, so basically, since June, how I publish it every Wednesday at 12 a.m. on my website, ilpersona.com. And basically, it's like maybe a page or two a week. And then, it, traffic was slow at first because no one knows you, but just consistently putting it out there and, marketing on social media, doing advertisements through Google AdWords, we're just slowly building an audience. So if anybody, is out there and they want to, put out a comic, but they don't know how to build a fan base, I'm telling you, web comics is the way to go. Sometimes you have to give things away in order to get people to follow you, because it's very hard to put out a comic and no one knows who you are and expect people to pay for it.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, where you get your money is through conventioning. And I'm just giving like little things that I've learned over the past 24 months. Advertisement space on your website.
Mm.
Um, Merchandise. Obviously, you want to make shirts and stuff of your characters and stuff like that. Definitely try that. What else? Obviously, selling books on Amazon, Comixology. Make sure your books get out there. I mean, it's not the fastest way, obviously, if you don't have like a big market share like Marvel, Disney, or something like that. But people buy. If they like it, they'll support you, and people have supported. So that I'm just grateful for that. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot of different ways to go as far as the whole webcomic aspect. But it's
And
definitely an
those
avenue
tips.
I definitely recommend.
I think a lot of people probably out there probably are liking to hear this. You know, whether it's
I mean, oh, God, I'm
no,
sorry.
go ahead, go ahead.
Well, like I said, it's not easy it's not easy. You have to be consistent with your product. That's why one thing I would say to anybody that wants to start a webcomic series, number one, make sure before you do it, you have enough content to where you're not, because in the webcomics, I don't want to call it industry, but people have buffers of content. Like if you're publishing a page or two a week, right? You want to have enough to like really draw people in. You don't want to like publish like 3 weeks worth of stuff and then you have to take a break for like 2 months because you got to, make more pages. So you definitely want to start when you have enough built up. Like when I started putting RL Persona on the internet as a webcomic, we had about almost 2 volumes worth of stuff done already. So like I've got stuff just like sitting around, and we're currently working. We're like 75% done with the third volume. I've got the fourth volume already written, ready to go, and then I'm currently writing the fifth. So just make sure you got a lot of content to be consistent, because
Mm.
consistency is the key in anything that you do, and especially like building an audience. If you're not consistent, people are gonna lose. They're gonna lose focus. They're gonna go elsewhere. So that's my main thing. Tell anybody, just be consistent.
I agree with those words quite a bit.
The so just a few more questions running
Sure.
on here as we running really low on time. I don't want to hold you up or anything either. But
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to talk to you guys.
Oh,
oh,
thanks,
thank you.
thanks.
The first off, because I was really curious about this. I know earlier we asked you about if you had any inspirations from your real life,
Hmm.
or your life in general. But more specifically, are there any aspects of your past experiences that were past experiences, in your life in general, whether it was the characteristics, a situation, or type of issue or something that occurred in the past. Anything in your past that was somewhat incorporated in your current story, RL Persona.
Well, I would say it's nothing specific. All the characters. I wouldn't say the entire the story itself. I would say that the characters themselves are about 75% me as the writer, obviously, because you're writing the voice. So all characters are like an aspect of yourself, one way or another. Sometimes characters make you see different parts of yourself that you didn't know was there either. And but they're also based on like people I've met in passing, in life in general. As far as the situations and stuff in the series goes, I wouldn't say it's based. It could be influenced by life in general, but I wouldn't say it's like directly influenced by any events or anything like that, like car accidents or anything like that. I
Yeah,
will say that the point of a young man waking up in the middle of a life that he doesn't understand or something like that, I could say that's probably that could be based on like I think some of my transitions into adulthood, to put it like to put it briefly, I guess.
no, yeah. I hope it wasn't too personal of me asking. Because
Oh.
what the yeah, like it's the main thing I really did want to get out of that is because yeah, common case in any of the stories at least that I've read or anything. You tend to get an idea of of someone's personality or certain things that may have been going on through their mindset, or something that might happen to them, or just their character all around. So I mean, even Irvin over here, you can see a lot of his character and his main character. So
Mhm.
Oh, Mary. Oh, man.
I would like as far as Raid, the main character goes, he's borrowed from a lot of different people. Put it like that. He uh, certain aspects of when I was young and dumber, I suppose, and just in general, just he's like a mismatch of a lot of people. Like a lot of people do ask if like the main character is like based off of them. I'm like, no, totally different people.
Quick question: Is
Yeah,
what is Raid's ethnicity?
he is. Oh, I guess he's black because if you
I was thinking so. I wasn't sure though. I was like, I'm
well,
like,
people have asked, and sometimes I like to be ambiguous just to, well, what do you perceive it as? I like, but he definitely he basically because I'm black, I'm African American, with Caribbean roots and stuff like that. But the one thing that I did give him that's from me is my skin tone.
got that
So
melanin.
yeah, so if you wanted to ask me, I would say yeah, he's black. What I did with his character design, it changed a little bit through the years. as it was developed, because he was originally like I wrote the idea of the story about him and everything, and then one of my old friends, he drew like a picture of him, and that's like kind of what I based it on. He looks totally different from the old picture from back in the day, but I wanted to give him like a kind of a look. I wanted him to look like an anime character, but it was important to me to make him, like a man of color. And just so people could see a person of color as like a main character in the series, and there's no stereotypes involved and things like that. This is just his story. Bare bones, and
Yeah, like he doesn't, necessarily look for like the, like I guess like the typical like black character that you see in every single story too. Because I think a lot of times, and
yeah.
I even see this kind of like in the webcomic community. A lot of times when people make a black character, I feel like they always have to have dreads, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but like they always have to have dreads or a fro. And I'm like, and if you don't have that, then people will act as if it's not black enough. And then people won't outwardly say it all the time, but the only reason why I'm mentioning this is because I feel like that's happened a little bit with one of my own characters, where people didn't
Okay.
perceive her as necessarily black. Now, it wasn't amongst like fans or anything like that, but some people were like,
It can happen. It can happen. Because everyone has preconceived notions of what black is in the first place, when in reality, black can mean several different things.
And if you look at like
Especially as
African
people's
roots,
appearances. Huh?
and I was gonna say like if you look at like Africa, like you think about everything came from Africa. So
And there's so many different types of black people in Africa. Like no one is set in like one set form. Like the people that have dreads, people have afros, or people have straight hair. I mean, they have light skin, red skin, dark skin, high yellow skin. I mean, that's why I wanted Ray's appearance. I gave him my skin color, and his appearance. I was actually inspired by a movie called Summer Wars. I don't know if you've ever seen
oh
it.
yeah, I've seen that movie.
Yeah, one of the characters in there, I was like, yo, like it kind of his look kind of inspired like the long hair, like when Ray doesn't have his helmet on, like he's got long hair and stuff like that. That kind of inspired me. But
I
that
like that
character
helmet
was
by the way.
also, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, it like reminded me like when I saw a dude take it off. I'm like, I don't know, it reminded me of like some Iron Man type stuff, but at the same time sweeter because of how how you had to take it off. But you know,
And but that character that inspired a little bit of his appearance, he was also hold on one second, I'm sorry. He was a character of color, so I was just like, yo, I was like, I was always writing no persona, but that part wasn't the main focus for me. Because the main focus to me, I just want to tell my story, tell it in a good way, and hope that people like it. But as I started like reading more things and seeing how things are, I just wanted to really make a series, especially a successful one that is featuring like a man of color as the lead character. It not even has to be a man, but just a person of color in general. So
okay.
All right, and I guess the I was also curious about your thoughts really on the current state of the manga industry, and to be more specific, more specific and still broad in a sense. The with the industry, there's a lot of interesting things going on. Even though manga is definitely a lot more popular in this day and age, and that could be heavily thanks to a lot of the anime that basically made its way out internationally. But there are some interesting things are going on. We're seeing a lot of indie companies and indie solo writers and authors and artists going out here making series or making companies trying to basically get their mangas up and going. And in Japan itself, we're seeing it by interesting with Japan. I mean it in the sense that the the
Are you seeing how
we're,
the
we're,
Japanese are
we're
like revamping everything? To how they cutting a lot of stories
we're
over there
seeing
now.
yes, a lot of series being conveniently, some old time series conveniently being cut around the same period. We're
Ah, yeah,
seeing
yeah.
a lot of new stuff trying to come in, and or they're trying to basically push a lot of new stuff to basically come in. We're seeing some interesting things just happen all around, and also hearing a lot of nightmare cases of their own the art own manga, because really not really want to work for something like Jump.
Uh-huh.
So, what are your thoughts on things going on right now in the manga
Well,
industry?
I think it's definitely changing over there. I don't know if it's for the better. I mean, they have a business model that they're trying to follow or revamp a little bit. Um, I do notice that the the main popular ones from years past are all they've either ended or they're dwindling down. Um, I think One Piece is like the only like big name one from the past like what 15 years. It's still
Mm.
Well, it's like
still
I'm only
up
halfway
and
done.
running. Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows when that story will end? But I do notice that there seems to be some kind of change going on in their industry over there. Where because I mean, there was like a series that I forgot what it was called. Demon's Plan or something. It was relatively new. It only lasted like 10 chapters, and it got the axe. And I'm like,
Mm.
that's really odd. I don't remember the last time I saw a series like get the axe that fast, but it's based off of popularity over there, and they could be changing the way that they're really measuring how popular a series is. So, I mean, personally, I'm not really a fan of a lot of the new stuff that's come out recently. I'm real big on Tokyo Ghoul. 'Cause I think the writing is like phenomenal in that series. But otherwise, like unless I get put onto something new, I haven't really been too enamored with a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing lately, from like Jump and things like that. Um, it's all subjective. Everybody's got their own opinions, but yeah, I'm not. It's not like how it used to be. You had your three big series, like One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, and stuff like that. You'd have Hunter x Hunter jumping in every now and then whenever the author like decides to start making it again. And then you had series here and there, but I mean otherwise like now it's like I'm not really checking for anything too particular, especially out of like Shonen Jump or whatever.
You
Like
reading
I don't
Hajime no
know.
Ippo?
I jump in on that every now and then. That series runs so long that I just sometimes will just let chapters pile up and then I'll try to catch up. But I do
Mm.
like the series though. There's a boxing series that's out now that's actually pretty good. I can't remember the name of it though. The protagonist, he's got like white hair, and it's kind of a little bit more edgier than Hajime no Ippo. Jeez, I can't remember the name of it though.
Uh,
It's a fairly new boxing series though.
I know I don't know.
Trying to see if I can remember the name, but I mean, yeah. Otherwise, I mean, uh, manga's kind of. I mean, even with anime, certain things don't really capture my attention. I think they're shifting the market. Um, to be honest with you, towards whatever's gonna make. Well, obviously, it's all about making money, but I think that all the stories and the series they're shifting towards what could get the widest audience, and you definitely want to like from a business aspect, they probably want the female readers as much as the male, if not more nowadays, because females are definitely becoming like a definitely a driving force in like all like industry, like as far as like comics and manga and anime goes. So they definitely want that audience. So I think that they may be gearing more things to make sure that they capture the female readers as well as the males. So that could also explain why the shift is why things are a little bit different, and it's understandable. Because like I said, it is about money. At the end of the day, they got their bottom line. So
Yeah, I also think quality
um,
matters too, though.
that I agree totally.
You
Like
look at back in the day,
you
like
could put it
Akira.
out for everybody, but I'm not gonna read it. You know.
Like you gotta have some substance behind it. You know, you look at a lot of the great mangakas from way back, whatever that paved the way that they made. They really put their blood, sweat, and tears into something. Like I seen
Yeah.
some post or something where, well, I know I showed it to you, Nico, where it was Osamu Tezuka, and this dude was like, I have to do 31 pages by
Oh
tomorrow
yeah.
or something. And I was like, I don't even know how that's possible, to be honest with you. Like I was like, there's no way, like you would even be able to get that done. I don't even know if he got it done, but like it was. I don't know if somebody had just.
Probably did.
That's
He
just to
probably
me.
did.
I don't see how because I'm like, I mean, but that's
Different
dedication.
generation, man. Oh, the boxing series I was talking about is called Rikudo. Rikudo.
I,
I swear
I
I've seen that pop up. I just never looked at it.
Yeah, that one it starts. It's really dark though, so it's not like it's
yeah, I
nothing
heard.
like Ippo. Or, yeah, trust me, it's more of a mature audiences read, I guess. Oh, you know what the one thing that really caught my attention that I do check for is this story. It's this story called Promise Neverland. I think it's running Shonen Jump right now. But
Hmm.
that's a good one if you want to check that out. It's like a real mystery type story.
Yeah, I seen
Okay.
that pop up. I haven't read that one either though, but I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I'm
I gotta catch up on
yeah,
my
I
Soma
think
chapters.
the writing I'm always big into the writing even more so than the art. So that story in particular, that really caught my attention. So that one I keep up with out of the new stuff nowadays, but
Do you look at Shokugeki no Soma?
mm, not yet. I haven't gotten into it.
Okay, like you never watched it, or you just didn't. It wasn't your thing.
I never watched it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I would definitely recommend reading it and watching it. Like, it's good. Like, if you wanna, if you like anything dealing with like cooking or whatever, it's almost like watching like Iron Chef, but in like
What's the English name of that? What's the English name of that?
Food
I think I
Wars.
know what you're talking about. Food Wars,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I read like two chapters of that. It looked interesting, but I was never into like food mangas. So,
Oh, okay. I see.
but I mean, it looks interesting. I'd probably have to give it a shot. But they have an anime for it, right?
Yeah, they do.
I'll
Yeah.
check it out sometime. If it's on Crunchyroll, I'll probably check it out because
Oh yeah,
I
it's
look.
on
Yeah, that's my go-to right there. Crunchyroll. Try to find new stuff. So
Crunchyroll. Brought to you by Crunchyroll. Say no. It wasn't brought to you by Crunchyroll. I don't want to get sued. Say
yeah.
no.
Well, we're just giving them free advertisement anyway, just by talking about them. So
I know, right? All right, Nico. Did you have any other questions?
Well, no, that's actually wrapping up the questions there. I mean,
awesome.
outside that, if you want to close out any aspiring youngins out there, you can give them a motivational line of encouragement.
Oh, uh, don't listen to anybody who's negative and don't quit at what you're doing. I meing, that's pretty much it. Especially not listening to negative people.
So what
Like,
if somebody's doing drugs and people are telling them, "Hey, you need to stop doing that," and they're like, "I'm not going to listen to you being negative because I want to do this. I'm going to shoot up
well,
tonight."
that's to be self-destructive is a that's a personal choice. I mean, I'm talking about being a little bit more productive, but just as far as like doing what you want to do, like don't listen to anybody as far as I mean, take advice, but as far as something negative, like yo, you can't do this or whatever, um, you gotta put that to the side.
Oh yeah, oh
Hear
yeah.
you.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
Criticism, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go
Oh no,
ahead.
no, I didn't know you were still going. I'll let you keep going.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like take criticism for what it is. Like criticism is good as long as it's constructive. But if someone's just trying to tear you down, don't even bother with it.
Oh yeah, certainly. I
Thank you.
agree. I agree with you with that. I mean, people will try to tear you down. People will try to, make you believe you can't do it or anything. So, certainly you got to be like Raid.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to be like him. We'll see. Story's still young right now.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure. Thank you, everybody, for watching this stream. You might be watching it. If you're watching it on Twitch, thanks for watching. And you're watching this on Facebook as a recording, then thank you for watching. I'll make sure to link down below Shaun's webcomic, RL Persona. So you can definitely check it out. It's good. I promise you that. I've read through it myself. So anyway, is there any other story or anything? Or you already told us that you're working on your other story. So make sure you look out for that as well. And we'll be updating you soon with the next interview that we'll be putting out soon with the next great creator. So I have to thank him again for coming on Shining Spotlight.
Yes. Thank
Thank you.
you
Thank you.
again. With that,
Thank you,
everyone,
guys.
we catch you all later.